2 minutes into the game, Kobbie Mainoo picks the ball up deep. He beats one man, then another, then he sits the goalkeeper down at Old Trafford in the second minute. And what happens? The chance is wasted, and I watched that moment and I thought, this is the story of Manchester United right there in 10 seconds, because we don't just win. We make you feel everything first. We made you panic. We made you want it desperately. We made you question the finish. We made you hold your breath for 87 more minutes. And only then, we gave you the 3 points. 2-1, Manchester United, Brentford, and now we are one result away from the Champions League. One result. Let that breathe for a second. This club was finishing 8th. This club was sacking managers mid-season. This club was a genuine embarrassment in front of the whole world. And right now, today, we are sitting in 3rd place in the Premier League, 11 points clear of 6th, needing 2 points from 4 games to secure Champions League football. That is not a small thing. That is a massive thing. And I don't think we are appreciating it enough. But here is what I really want to talk about, because the result is great. The result is important. But there are about 4 stories inside this match that nobody is really sitting down to properly analyse. And that is what we are going to do today. So if you are new here, my name is Bella. This is Bella Mufc Analysis. I am a Manchester United fan. I am not a journalist. I am not trying to be neutral. I have opinions and I give them freely. If that is your kind of content, subscribe, hit the like button on this video. It genuinely helps this channel get seen, and let's get into it. Right. First thing I want to talk about, Casemiro, because I feel like people are glossing over what happened at Old Trafford on Monday night, and it deserves more than a highlight clip. This man, who some people had completely written off, who Jamie Carragher called finished, who after that Crystal Palace performance people were saying was done at this level, this man went out there against Brentford and put in a performance that statistically has not been matched in the Premier League in 20 years. Think about that number, 20 years, 16 duels won, 11 tackles, 9 clearances, all in the same game. He is apparently the only player to record all of those numbers in a single Premier League match in 2 decades. That is not a good performance. That is a historical performance. And then he scores a header from an acute angle, 9th Premier League goal of the season. And after the goal, he kisses the badge. And 60,000 people at Old Trafford start singing One More Year. Now, here is where it gets complicated, because Casemiro is leaving. That is confirmed. That is done. Manchester United confirmed it in January. His contract expires this summer and they are not renewing it. Michael Carrick said after the match, those were his exact words, it is pretty clear from both sides. So when those fans sing One More Year, they know the answer is no. They know, and they are singing it anyway. That is not delusion, that is love. That is what proper football feels like. And here is what I think nobody is saying properly. Casemiro's best season at United might be this one, his final one, the season where he was supposed to be phased out, where everyone expected him to fade quietly into the background and let the younger players take over. Instead, he has 9 league goals. He won man of the match on Monday. He is playing like he has something to prove, and the reason for that, and this is my reading of it, is clarity. The moment the club told him he was leaving, something unlocked in him. He stopped worrying about his future. He stopped playing with that weight. He just played. And this is what Casemiro at his best looks like. But here is my actual concern, and tell me if you see this differently. We are losing this player in the summer, and the conversation about his replacement has not been serious enough yet. Carlos Baleba, Elliot Anderson, Adam Wharton, Sandro Tonali, these are names floating around, and they are not bad names. But none of them are Casemiro, not because of quality, because of presence, because of what Casemiro gives your dressing room, what he gives your midfield structure, what he gives your young players. Kobbie Mainoo plays better with Casemiro beside him. That is not opinion. That is what we see every week. Mainoo gets to go forward. He gets to drive. He gets to be the creative force, because Casemiro is sitting behind him, sweeping up, winning every duel that comes his way. When Casemiro leaves, someone has to do that job. And whoever Carrick brings in, they need to understand that role immediately, because we cannot afford a transition period. We are potentially going into the Champions League next season. You cannot be learning on the job in those games. So the Casemiro farewell is emotional, absolutely. But the Casemiro replacement question is the one that actually keeps me up at night. Now, Bruno Fernandes. Let me talk about him, because he deserves his own conversation. 19 assists this season, 1 away from the all-time Premier League single-season record. A record held by Thierry Henry and Kevin De Bruyne, 2 of the greatest players to ever play in this league, and Bruno Fernandes is chasing that record in a season where this club has been chaotic, where they changed managers mid-season, where the squad has been inconsistent. Through all of that, Bruno has 19 assists, 4 games left, Now here is what I find fascinating about the assist against Brentford. Watch it back if you get the chance, because it is not just a good pass, it is a read. Fernandes is driving at the Brentford defence. He has Brian Mabumo to his right, he has Sesko to his left, and Brentford's defence is slightly overcommitting to Mabumo's run, so Bruno goes left, plays Sesko in, and Sesko does the rest. That decision takes half a second, but it comes from hours of reading games, understanding where defenders lean, understanding how to exploit the angle of pressure. That is not instinct, that is football intelligence at the highest level. And what does this do for the team? It is not just one pass. Bruno, in this kind of form, changes how the entire opposition sets up against United. Teams have to account for his direct threat as a scorer. He can shoot, he can drive into space, but they also have to protect against his passing lanes, and that creates space everywhere else. Sesko gets his chance on Monday, not because of Sesko, but because of how Bruno manipulates the defensive shape. That is the deeper point.
And that is what I mean when I say Bruno's value goes beyond the assist number. But, and I do have a but here, if Bruno does not break that record in the next 4 games, I hope nobody makes it weird, because 19 assists is already incredible. The record would be the cherry on top, but the cake is already extraordinary. Drop a comment. Do you think he breaks it? Genuinely curious what people think.
Now, I want to talk about something that is not getting enough attention. The second half against Brentford, because the first half was brilliant. United were electric. Maynor, the corner routine, Sesko's goal. They were fast, they were sharp, they pressed high, they transitioned quickly. I was watching that and thinking, this team is genuinely dangerous. And then the second half started, and it was like watching a completely different team. United dropped off, they stopped pressing, they started sitting deep. And Brentford, who by their own manager's admission played with real bravery, started creating chances. Jensen's 87th minute goal was not a fluke. It was the product of United giving them far too much space and far too much time on the ball in the final 20 minutes. And here is the thing. Matthias Jensen, who scored the goal, said after the match that Brentford were the better side. Their manager Keith Andrews said the same thing. He was proud. He said the second goal was tough to take, but that is the quality United have. So Brentford themselves are saying we were better. And honestly, in the second half, they were not wrong. Now, why does this matter? Because Liverpool is coming on Sunday. And Liverpool, with Hugo Ekitike, who's been their top scorer this season, are not going to give United the same second half leniency that Brentford did. Liverpool will punish you for dropping off. They will punish you for sitting too deep and leaving space in behind. That is exactly where they hurt teams. Gary Neville said it himself. He expects United to be much more defensively compact on Sunday, more disciplined, less of an open first half, more of a chess match. And here is my tactical reading of how Sunday could go. Carrick knows that Liverpool's biggest threat comes through quick transitions. When United lose the ball high up the pitch, they are exposed on the counter. We saw it against Arsenal earlier this season. We saw it in patches against Brentford in the second half. So what does Carrick do? He probably sets United up to be harder to beat first, to deny Liverpool the space to run in behind. He will want Casemiro to sit disciplined, not to go hunting for the ball, but to screen the defence and protect the centre-backs. But here is the problem, and this is the part that nobody is saying. With Lisandro Martinez suspended and Matthijs de Ligt injured, United's centre-back options for Sunday are limited. Maguire played on Monday. When we played on Monday, we might be looking at that same pairing against a Liverpool attack that has been in form recently. Maguire against pace. That is not a matchup that always goes United's way. It depends on how organised the defensive line is. It depends on whether United can sit deep enough to take that pace threat away. But if Liverpool get in behind early, if they get momentum, that is a very difficult afternoon. And if Carrick gets it wrong on Sunday, the Champions League is still coming. 2 points from 4 games, they will get there regardless. But finishing third above Liverpool would mean something extra, something historical for this squad, something personal for Carrick. Right, Carrick, let us actually have this conversation properly, because I think the media is getting this wrong. And I am going to say something here that might be controversial. Ratcliffe is hesitating on giving Carrick the permanent job. That is confirmed, multiple sources. He reportedly wants Gareth Southgate considered. He thinks Carrick might not have the dominant personality required for Old Trafford. And I get it, I understand the logic. Ratcliffe looks at Carrick and sees someone who is calm, reserved, quiet. And he wonders, can this man command a dressing room of international superstars? Can he handle the pressure of the biggest club in England when results go against him? But here is what I think Ratcliffe is missing. What Carrick has done since January is not just get results. What Carrick has done is create an environment. She stabilised a completely shattered dressing room. He got Fernandes playing the best football of his life. He got Casemiro rediscovering himself at 34. He got Sesko, a player who looked lost earlier this season, to double digits in the Premier League. None of that is accidental. That is man management. That is culture. That is knowing exactly how to push each individual player's buttons without breaking. And wins over Arsenal, Manchester City, Chelsea, now moving towards the Champions League. If this were another manager, if this were a big foreign name coming in and doing exactly this, everyone would be calling it a miracle. But because it is Carrick, because he is quiet, because he is from this club, because he does not do big press conference speeches, some people are questioning whether it is real. And that frustrates me. It genuinely does. Because the Southgate conversation, look, I respect Gareth Southgate, I do. But what has he won? A final in a tournament he had home advantage for. He never won a trophy. He plays the most cautious, conservative football possible. And you want to bring that energy to Old Trafford? I am sorry, no. Give me the man who actually understands this club, who played here, who feels it, who has already shown he can handle it. Carrick is not perfect. He is still learning. He will make mistakes. But so does every manager. The difference is Carrick already has something that cannot be taught. He has the trust of this dressing room. He has the players believing in him. And that is everything. But here is the real question. And I mean this genuinely. If Carrick takes United into the Champions League and Ratcliffe still goes for Southgate, what does that say about how this club values loyalty, about how they value continuity, about whether they have learned anything at all from the last 5 years of constant managerial chaos? Tell me what you think in the comments. Do you give Carrick the job? Yes or no? Simple as that. Let me take a step back because I think there is a bigger picture here that we need to appreciate. Manchester United, third in the Premier League, on the cusp of the Champions League. Young players developing. Bruno in the form of his life. Sesko hitting double figures. Mainoo finally looking like the player we always believed he could be. And a manager, whoever he ends up being permanently, who has the tools to build something real. But here is what I keep coming back to. The summer is going to define everything. Because right now, this squad has a ceiling, and the ceiling is clear. When the first team is clicking, when Bruno is on, when Casemiro is flying, when Mainoo has freedom, this team can beat anyone. They proved that against City, against Arsenal, against Chelsea. But when the first team is not clicking, when there are injuries or suspensions or dips in form, the squad depth is not there. Matheus Cunha missing changes everything. De Ligt missing changes everything. There are not enough high-level alternatives, so the summer business has to be smart. Not panic buying, not throwing money at the biggest name available. Smart, surgical, midfield, a Casemiro replacement who can sit and screen but also has the athleticism to cover modern pressing systems. Attack, competition for places. Sesko cannot be the only out-and-out option. And defence, if De Ligt's injury is long-term, we need serious investment at centre-back. All of that costs money, real money. And United need to do it while also potentially qualifying for the Champions League, which changes the financial picture significantly. This is the complexity that I think fans underestimate. It is not just about results now. It is about building a structure that works in August, in September, in the knockout rounds of the Champions League in February, and the man making those decisions, whether it is Carrick working with the recruitment team or a new manager coming in, they have to get this right. Because one bad summer and everything that is being built right now comes apart. Before I close out, one more thing. Sunday, Manchester United versus Liverpool at Old Trafford. Third versus fourth. 3 points apart. Both going for Champions League spots that are already almost secure, but pride, bragging rights and final table position all still very much on the line. And for Liverpool, this is not a free game. They have not had the season they expected. They were meant to defend their title. Instead, they are chasing United for third place. Arne Slot is under pressure from the Liverpool fan base. Results have been inconsistent. The title is gone, and now they have to come to Old Trafford. If Liverpool lose this game, they finish below United for the first time in years. That is huge, not just in football terms, in culture terms, in bragging rights for years to come. And for United, win this game and the conversation about Carrick's future becomes almost impossible to ignore. Win this game and you are making a real statement. You are saying we are back. Not pretending to be back, actually back. Neville said it could be a game of chess, low block, two compact teams, not many chances. And I actually agree with him on that read. I think Carrick will be very disciplined. I think he will not let United get opened up the way they were in that second half against Brentford. But here is my prediction. and hold me to this. I think United win. I think it is tight. I think it is 1 goal. I think Fernandes has a direct involvement. And I think the moment the goal goes in, Old Trafford becomes the loudest it has been in a very long time, because this is the moment. This is the match where this team makes a statement about who they are becoming. And I cannot wait. That is it for today. If you made it this far, honestly, thank you. This channel is built on people who love proper football conversations, not hot takes, not rage bait, real analysis, real opinions, real United. If you are not subscribed yet, subscribe. It costs you nothing and it means everything for this channel's growth. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Drop your prediction for Sunday in the comments. United win or Liverpool win? Let me know. And I will see you on the other side of the derby. Come on, United.